Welcome to Tea with Tomi and Toks.
Yes, Tea with Tomi and Toks, I love it.
So we decided very randomly to just have these conversations where we talk about our lessons we're learning in the moment, and we thought we'll do like a series of see how far we can go.
Yeah.
And just talk about life lessons. So it's very unfiltered.
Right.
Nothing pre-planned.
Nothing.
Don't have my laptop all open. I have my journal here because I write my lessons in there.
Oh, aren't you prepared much?
Well, have to come correct.
Oh, I love it.
Okay, what are you learning?
No, you go first.
Oh, that was sneaky of me.
Yeah, I know. I can see what you tried to do there.
Oh, okay. What am I currently learning? I'm learning about the difference between fear and faith. There are some lessons that feel like I go round and round and round. So I've learned about fear and faith multiple times, but this time I'm learning that faith doesn't need to exit the room fear doesn't need to exit the room for faith to take control.
Right, I'm learning that too, actually. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, where in the past I was watching how I've been dealing with challenges,
Right.
and I noticed that my focus is initially on the fear and the source of the fear.
Right.
I want to get rid of that so that faith can take its place.
Right.
But God was saying to me, faith is powerful enough to pierce through the fear because faith is light.
Right.
And the darkness cannot comprehend or overcome the light.
Right.
So you don't necessarily have to get rid of fear for you to exercise faith.
Right.
And I think about how I remember what it was like when we were giving our lives to Christ when we were young. Some of us held back because we felt, well, I'm not a good person yet.
Right.
And I've heard people say that I'm not ready to commit to God yet because I want to get rid of some of my bad behavior first before I come to God. When really that is what God is after. Like He just wants you, the whole of you, to come as you are.
Yeah, and I have to piggyback on that because I've learned so much on that as well. I've also learned that faith is an action word.
Right.
And many times fear is just an emotion.
Exactly.
And God honors the faith.
Right.
He honors the action. So even though you are feeling some kind of way, and many times we are, sometimes the feeling is just hormonal.
Right.
That there's no
right.
You know what I mean? It's just that time of the month. So many times we put so much weight on the emotion that comes with fear that we ignore the fact that we're doing this thing.
Right.
And it's the action that God honors.
Absolutely.
So just...
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
we're definitely, God actually is sitting us down spiritually in the same room and speaking to us.
No, for real, because that recently I said to God, please make this thing work. I was planning something, please, because I was challenging myself because I wasn't feeling faithy.
Right.
And I was kind of saying, can you bypass this thing that I'm feeling and just do it anyway? And that's when He said to me that you can feel it. It's just an emotion. It's vapor. It comes and goes.
Love that.
What I'm going to honor is you doing it anyway. And that is what faith is. It's an action word.
Wow. That is so true.
Yeah.
And you know what comes to mind is when when God said to Abraham to sacrifice Isaac.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that Abraham was not doing cartwheels about it. He must have been dreading the moment.
Right.
I don't think he was in his room the night before pacing and practicing stabbing moves, stabbing moves.
True.
I don't think he was doing that.
Yeah.
I don't think he was sitting down imagining, I wonder what side the blood will flow from. He must have been mortified, fearful, but he took action, like you said, in spite of the emotion. So that is such a big one for me.
Yeah.
That's great.
Okay, my lesson.
Yes.
My lesson is the process. The journey, actually, is the prize.
Wow. The journey.
Not
the destination.
Not the destination.
Okay.
And if you forget that the journey, which is life, what we're actually going through, that is actually the prize. Not so much this big contract,
Right.
or the turnover,
Right.
or the business opportunity. That's not the prize. When you look back, when you eventually get the prize, this thing that you're trying to, and you look back, that's when you realize, first of all, you get it, and sometimes there's an anticlimax, isn't it?
Yeah.
You get it, and like,
Okay, is that it?
all right, and then you're quickly on to the next.
Right.
But when you look back and you see, you chronicle everything that you've gone through in the journey to getting this thing, and you are present enough to acknowledge God's faithfulness, the people you have met, the mindset shifts, the opportunities that have even come along the way, and more importantly, the person you have become.
Right.
That is when you can really look back and be like, wow, that was a thing that just happened.
Yes.
And so for me, anytime God gives me a new goal, whether it's God or whether it's just me feeling myself, coming up with this big dream.
Well, you have the mind of Christ, so when the mind conceives an idea.
When it comes to anything and you have this goal, I'm now more conscious of the beauty of the journey.
Wow.
And maybe because I also write now, and I have, I've written a book about some seasons in my life. I see myself now almost as a character in a story, so that out of body experience, that you're looking at yourself as a character, and the people you meet, how you navigate, the near misses, the opportunities that you thought were it that slipped out of your hands, and in retrospect, the opportunities that you're thankful you didn't take advantage of when they did show up, the relationships that you fostered. That is the prize.
That is the prize. I agree.
That is the prize. And so that consciousness of that is something I am very, very grateful for now. So when I'm going through those challenges, I don't look at them as challenges in themselves.
Right.
I look at them as, okay, this is another thing that I'm going to overcome.
Love it.
On the journey to this thing. So at the end of the day, when you do get the thing, yes, you're grateful for it, and but it's not the whole thing. The main thing
is the journey.
Is that journey.
That's a real good lesson.
Yeah.
That's a good lesson for me as well.
Yeah.
Reminds me of my friend Susie. When she was going through a divorce, she, at the same time, at the start of her divorce, enrolled in the Chartered Institute of Housing. And I remember saying to her, you need to reserve a portion of your heart to look after yourself during this season, and don't load you, because she's a go-getter, very busy, very hardworking. Don't load yourself with too much to do, but keep some space that you can retreat to, because this journey is going to be a tough one. But she said something that made me rethink that, and she says she knows it's going to be very hard, and it's going to last, I think she said a year or 2 years. I think she said a year. She goes, I don't want to come to the end of that year and have nothing to show for it but loss, because she was going to lose out financially in the divorce. And she goes, I don't want to only have less finances and, on all the stuff I lose. I also want to say, at least I got this one thing. So the journey... The journey is indeed the prize. And another thing she said, actually, which is really what I should have said, is that she didn't want that season of her life to be marked by sadness and strife and difficulty. She wanted to also have, during that whole period, some positives in there as well. So that's being intentional about that portion of her journey, to make sure that it was robust and it wasn't just a one-dimensional, I'm getting divorced, end of story type situation. Absolutely.
And really, it's the gift of perspective, really, that makes that that gives you really that understanding. It's that perspective that when you are in it, I had a situation where I was trusting God for something, and every time something happened or an opportunity showed up or somebody, and I felt, look, this is it. This is it. Finally, I have done this, and it wasn't it. And then you're disappointed and you pick yourself up again. And then maybe at the third time, I laughed, because I had seen almost like some kind of a method to this madness. Like, God, I don't know what you're doing here, but clearly you're just saying, okay, try high again with that one. Let's see what happens. Nope, it's not it. And we try and nope. So that perspective of, okay, you know, God, I may not be able to determine the outcome,
Right.
but I am going to be intentional about enjoying this journey and seeing you in the journey, you know, because you really don't know what the outcome would be.
That's
yes,
true.
you are trusting for this, but you don't know. So that gift of perspective, when you are in it, you know, you're going to be human, of course, and you allow yourself to go through the emotions, absolutely natural and healthy, but be present enough to have that
be
perspective.
A part of it
Yes.
as well. Don't zone out.
Which is why, like you always say, journaling is fantastic, so you can look back and actually see.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
Exactly. What a great lesson.
yeah.
Wow.